Okay, so we're back in Onshape and I've created a new document for our spoon holder. So let's see if we can make something that's a little bit more effective than trying to stick a vise into a laser cutter. So we'll start off. We'll create a sketch on the top view, and I think what we should do is create something that's kind of longer and narrower, so we can always kind of ensure that the spoon lines up onto the x-axis. So okay, so I think the spoon's fairly narrow anyway, the handle, as we saw taking the measurements, but so we'll probably do it just 40 millimeters deep, and if you're going to go over 4 of those slats, they're 21.5 millimeters, so let's, with a 5 millimeter gap in between, so 106. I think that sounds about right. Now what I'm going to do is create a block, but I don't want to just create a big chunk of plastic with a hole down the middle of it. I think we only need a block on either end just to hold the handle of the spoon. So let's create those. I think we'll just do those as 20 millimeter blocks on either end. So again, we're not wasting material just for the sake of it. There we go, so 20 millimeters. Okay, so let's create a base first. So create a base of 5 millimeters. Let's bring that sketch back, and then if we make the whole thing 20 millimeters, so that'll be 15. Oops, that'll be 15 millimeters then here. Okay, all right. So we'll just drill a hole now through the middle here. So let's create a new sketch on this face, and probably go down 9 millimeters. And then we'll add the hole that the spoon handle is going to go through. So it's about 11.6. I mean, it's not completely cylindrical, but I think that's close enough. And then let's punch that hole all the way through. So I'll say 106. Yep. Okay. So that's and that'll do there. So now let's put the little fingers that slit down between the slats. And what I'd quite like to do is have it so that we can have different fixture pieces going in next to each other. So let's start off, create a sketch on this face. So we'll go in 2.5 mil. And then create the block, so it doesn't need to be too deep. And we know it is exactly 21.5. And as you know, because I'm a little bit lazy, I'm going to use mirror once I've created something that I like here. So we don't need an entire block of plastic here. So let's use the offset function. We'll just offset by 3 millimeters. Okay. And then we'll make it give it a little bit of strength. Yeah. Okay, that looks nice. Then we use mirror. Use this as a mirror line, and then we want to mirror all of that. And then we'll finish it all off. Create another construction line just here. And then I think we can, again, if we select that, we mirror the entire thing. Ah, there we go. That made it a lot easier. And now let's add those. Oops. Dear me. Add those there. Okay, so that looks quite good. The top part's a bit chunky, perhaps. Let's maybe lower that by oops, 2 mil. Yeah, that looks nice. And then these edges look a bit sharp, so let's put some nice fillets on these, I think. 15mm should look good. Yeah, and now it's tidy everything else up. That's not going to be 15mm. Okay, so I think that looks good. To go. Right, so just export this. So we can put it in Bamboo Labs. So we'll call it spoon holder. Okay, so over to Bamboo Studio then. Let's import the spoon holder into here. Okay, so we need to print this. We don't want all those overhangs in there. There's going to be some overhangs. So we'll print it on this face, I think. And yeah, and then we'll just add some support for those. So we'll go in, I think we use the auto for the tree. We've got it selected for PLA, which is good. So we'll slice that. Okay, that looks good. So it'll take an hour and a quarter. Okay, well, that didn't quite work, so a little bit too tight to be useful, although we definitely held the spoons in place. So let's go in and edit it. And that's the cool things when we're using CAD. We can go in and we can change the things that are quite right. So we need to change the diameter of this hole. So I think if we edit sketch 2, there we go, we can go in and we can change this. So let's take it from 11.6 up to 12. We still want it to be, in fact, let's go 12.1. It'll be too loose now, but let's see. So this is 12.1. I think also what I'd quite like to add is some sort of some sort of reference mark to the top here, so that when we look at it with the cameras in the laser, it's easy to see where the center line is. So it's going to aid alignment. So let's just create something on the top here. So create a new sketch. Okay, so we again we can see that center point. Let's just be lazy. I think if we just create something that's just a millimeter in total, there we go, really lazy here. So let's expand this by 0.5 mil. I want to extend this by 0.5 mil. Now, I could, if I was being particularly kind of keen, let's take this up by 2 millimeters. If I was being particularly keen, what I could do is stop the print part way through if I was printing in a different orientation, and then print this in a different colour. But I think I'll go old school, and once it's printed, I'll just use a black Sharpie just to fill this in. So let's put a chamfer on this. What I want to do, so it's only 0.5. Oops, no, 0.5 by 2. 1. Why is it doing it like that? Okay, let's stop that. Okay, so what I want to do is add some sort of reference mark on the top as well, just to make it easier for aligning with the cameras on the xTool. So we'll create a new sketch, and we'll just do it on one side. We don't need to have it on both sides. Oops. Let's just do a quick line. So from this center point, and I only want to do it a millimeter. So if I put an offset from that center line by 0.5 mil, and then just create this in. If this is 1 mil, then the center of that will be exactly in the middle. Okay, and then we'll just extrude it. And if we were printing this in a different orientation, it'd be pretty cool, because what we could do is stop the print at this point and then change the filament, then print this in a different color filament. But I'm printing in white PLA, so I can print it out and then I can color it in with a black Sharpie, and that's going to be good enough. So again, let's just export this. I'll call it Spoon Holder 2. Okay, so I won't show you it in Bamboo Labs. I'll just print it, and here it is. Okay, let's see. Second time lucky. Let's see if it fits. Okay, so it's all done. That's pretty good. See, I've coloured in the little alignment line just to make it easier. Now hopefully the spoon a little stiff, which is good. Oh, there we go, which is good. It fits straight in. So I think that works pretty well, and it aligns easily into the printer. And if we use some of the alignment blocks that we created earlier, we can always put those in there, and then we ensure that we can have easily repeatable engraving. So we can now easily take out that fixture for the spoon, put a new spoon in it, and stick it back in exactly the same place. You don't have to do repeated alignment each time. So I guess now we'll engrave the spoon. Okay, it looks pretty good. I think the next step now is to turn it over and engrave the other side. Well, I think the spoon holder worked, did everything it needed to, kept the spoon still, and I think the spoon looks good. So please like, subscribe, and comment. Tell me what you want to see on the next video. I'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.